Tonight we'll be looking at flower tufts from 3 different brands, being the Army Painter, Redbaker, and Warmtree. Starting first with the Warmtree set, this ran me about 16 in US dollars for a total of 60 pieces divided into 12 groups across 5 different colors, being purple, red, white, yellow, and pink. Every tuft is the same size, and my first impression is that I like the vibrancy of the flower bits, and if the dark green of the tufts need to be dulled somewhat, that can be done via washes. Though these tufts came in a nice large plastic case, they all appeared to have been squashed prior to packaging. This has not rendered these useless by no means, and they can be fluffed back up with a little effort. Despite there appearing to be a lot of the flower bits running rogue in the case, the flower bits are glued pretty well to the tufts. My only real gripe with this set is that these tufts are huge and will generally be too large to fit on a 32mm base or smaller, without obscuring the actual miniature somewhat. These would be better served for large miniature bases or terrain. Next, let's take a quick look at the Army Painter flowers, which ran me roughly 11 US dollars for 77 pieces. These are all one color and broken up into 3 sizes, being 12 large tufts, 35 medium tufts, and 30 small tufts. Any of these 3 sizes fit well on a 28 to 32mm miniature base. I use Army Painter tufts in almost all of my miniature basing and have no complaints against them. My only issues with this product is that, at least at the time of this video, they're only available in yellow flowers. Finally, let's take a look at the Redbaker brand flower tufts, which come bundled as 288 pieces for 26 US dollars. This is broken up into 5 colors and 4 colors of basic grass tufts. All tufts in the set are the same size and are further subdivided into 9 packs of 32 tufts. The flower colors are yellow, red, purple, pink, and white. These tufts are a good bit larger than the Army Painter ones, but smaller than the Warmtree ones. These would do better on bases larger than 32mm or on terrain. However, you can still work with these on 32mm bases. Let's take a quick gander over each brand and see how they compare side by side. Starting with the largest and smallest of the 3 brands, being Warmtree and Army Painter, we'll compare the height of the 2, with the Warmtree tufts are easily twice the height and 3 times the diameter of the largest Army Painter tufts. Comparing the Redbaker brand against Army Painter results in much the same, though with noticeably less discrepancy. Finally, comparing the Warmtree tufts directly against the Redbaker tufts really demonstrates how massive the Warmtree vegetation is. Now let's take a quick look at how these would look next to a 32mm base. Again, starting first with the Warmtree brand. The tuft would easily take up a 1/4 of the base, though in some scenarios such a large tuft could work out well, especially if you have any tall objects on a rock. The Army Painter tufts take up significantly less room and are far shorter, so they're more forgiving and easy to work with when it comes to planning around your miniature taking center stage. The Redbaker brand falls in the middle of those two. An entire tuft will still take up a lot of the room on a 32mm base, but if you're willing to cut it down, you can still work around it. I would say a safe way to assign general usage would be the Army Painter tufts for 35mm or smaller bases, and 38mm or larger bases for the Redbaker or Warmtree brands, unless you plan on cutting them down, or boosting the height of the miniature on a rock or other piece of debris. There are of course special cases where you want your miniature literally knee-deep in tufts, such as the Spirit of Summer in a field of flowers pictured here, where I used the mid-sized Redbaker flower tufts. Now let's compare the colors between them. The grasses are the first thing that stand out to me, more so than the flowers, with the grass being a lush green from the Warmtree and the Redbaker grass having a more dried out appearance. With that said, this is the summer tufts, and Redbaker does have spring tuft sets with a healthier looking grass and even larger flower clumps. The whites, yellows, purples are noticeably different, but the pink and reds are very similar. How would I rate these? Let's look at them from a cost standpoint first, then a personal preference. Here's a quick chart breaking down the total pieces, cost per piece, and what I consider the largest issue with each brand. The Army Painter is flexible due to the small size but is limited by the color options, while the Redbaker is the cheapest overall, even if you were to pay the full amount only for the flower tufts and never receive the plain grass tufts that come with this set. You also get 5 colors of flowers. For the Warmtree brand, you receive the worst price per individual unit, though you do get 5 colors of flowers. The size of them, however, can make them difficult to work with. So from a cost standpoint, Redbaker trumps all, with the Army Painter coming in second place. From a personal standpoint, my rankings are the same. If Army Painter comes out with more colors, they'll probably be my number one, but not due to cost, mainly due to the smaller options where you can peel and stick and not have to worry about whittling off half or 3/4 of a tuft. In the end, none of these are terrible products, but I'll likely not purchase any more Warmtree tufts. Army Painter will remain my go-to when it has what I need, but right now, Redbaker will fill the flower void as my champion.